Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're about to recap the final week of the regular season for 2023 and 2024 season. And boy, it was a good one. Ups and downs, roller coasters all around. But as always, before we jump into it, go down, like, and subscribe. Comment what y'all thought on the year. Comment what y'all thought on your team's performance this year and just the mayhem that followed on week 18. Let us hear it all. I'm Paul Pickle and I'm joined with.
You already know, man. It's your boy Kev, Water Voices Boy, aka the Don P. White, aka Real Single Stream. Yeah, this shit was bonkers, Paul. Week 18 is exactly what we said it was gonna fucking be.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hell. It was, I mean, the tone was set week one with the Lions being the Chiefs.
Facts.
Game one, week one, and it's only right that like it ended with teams fumbling at the finish line, teams that no one expected, so securing their spot, legacies being started, the whole 9 yards. I feel like, but like, yeah, I mean, great season, and shout out to us. We didn't miss a week this season. We was here for every single turn, nook and cranny.
You already know how we coming. Come on now. Definitely was half asleep a lot this season, but we made it.
Hey, but it's crazy though. To me, I be losing to a motherfucker that's one eye open half the time.
I be telling people that
I be putting in the stats, the extra hours, all the reading all the books, and then that boy kept. Yeah, give me the Eagles.
I be telling people that all the time. Like, yo, bro, I want you to understand the difference between me and Stephen A. Smith. Like, the difference between me and Stephen A. Smith is that, like, Stephen A. Smith doesn't do this faded, and he gets a good night's sleep before all this.
I be telling you, bro, that boy Kev again. Kev, give me the Eagles. Like, I mean, the Eagles 3 games ago, bro. we talking Chargers Browns right now.
I was telling the boys in the office, they was bothering me today, and I was like, no, bitch, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna go enjoy this fucking podcast later.
I know. I mean, some of it we get to enjoy it. A lot. I mean, Black Monday has passed, as some people call it, and it's Tuesday as of this recording. So, like, we're sitting here enjoying it, Kev. But we got to start right into it. Before we hop into slate, one of the hottest topics around right now is what coach got a job and what coach don't got a job. We got a couple firings. Your Atlanta Falcons got rid of Arthur Smith after his third full season. Bill Belichick's on the hot seat possibly, but the other ones, Ron Rivera, he got the boot. We all knew that was going to happen eventually. It took a little longer than it should have. And then the biggest shock of all to a lot of people is Mike Vrabel for the Titans. So we can't spend a lot of time on all of them. I doubt we spend any time on Ron Rivera. We all knew this was coming. But like out of the Mike Vrabel and Arthur Smith, which one do you want to start with, Kev?
Well, you know, those are both my guys. You know, me and
Both,
Coach
yeah,
Vrabel.
we are both pro Smith and Vrabel on the show.
Me and Coach Vrabel like this, man. Like, you know that. So like this was I wasn't expecting a Coach Vrabel one. I mean, the Falcons' entire fan base wanted Arthur Smith gone, but it was really just because, and I'm not mad at it because I don't think that Arthur Smith was probably like genuinely deserving to get fired, but he was already like teetering it, and we were gonna be okay until the implosion, and we lose 4 of our last 5. Like we lose to, and we're not losing the good teams. We're losing to the Bears, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Saints. Like these are not good teams we're losing to. So like it is what it is at the end of the day. So like at least he left standing on business. Cuss the fuck out of Dennis Allen. Like at least he left standing on business.
The best part of that video is when Arthur Smith's walking to talk shit. The black coach behind Arthur Smith walking past is saying, "Bitch ass motherfucker." A drive-by bitch ass motherfucker as he's walking past.
I'm telling you, so I'm just like, hey man, it is what it is at the end of the day. We appreciate it, Coach Arthur Smith. If we had just started stacking wins, we would have been able to motherfucking do the damn thing. But it'd be like that. But yeah, I'm more just like dumbfounded at this Coach Vrabel move because like I understand it. The team didn't do well. I didn't expect it, But I'm not mad at it because I didn't expect them to do fucking great next season either.
See, Arthur Smith, our guy, Mike Vrabel, our guy. Wish Arthur Smith was back. He's the one, like you said, I can understand. And it was someone else pointing out to me, like, hey, the GM and the ownership drafted three stallions in the past 3 years: Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. And for whatever reason, Arthur Smith just chooses to like split reps with Kyle Pitts with fucking Jonu Smith. Drake
Mm.
London, I mean, elite run blocker. Just he is definitely wide receiver one, but it's just there's not many looks. And then as Bijan, Arthur Smith multiple times this season, when asked why you're not using him, was basically like, "Hey, like I'm not here to play fantasy football. I'm gonna use the people I want, like when I want to use them, type shit." So like, but if your ownership, you do gotta look at it as like we spent 3 first round picks on these three like fucking stallions, and for whatever reason they're not getting utilized. So
Yeah, definitely.
when someone broke that to me, I was like, I am still Arthur Smith. He did the best he could with what he had, but that
Yeah,
does
that's a
make
good
sense.
point. Yeah, I just think it was all good
The
until the
implosion,
last.
yeah. If y'all would have been like playoff bound right now because y'all didn't fumble a couple games along the way, I don't think he gets fired.
And I also think if we had, even if we didn't make the playoffs, but we just won these games against these teams, like we're up against the Bucks, we're up against the Panthers. Now after that, then I think after that, that's when the locker room was lost because you just team scored with you in 16 seconds left. The other team, you guys only scored 9 points. No, you guys only scored 7 points, so you lost to a team that scored nine. Like
Yep.
it is what it is at the end of the day.
The other coach, Mike Vrabel, what the fuck did they think he was gonna do with the team they gave him? Like, I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't know how he
literally.
hired. Like, if you like legitimately, who sat there and was like, yeah, this team must go to the playoffs or Vrabel's ass is grass. It's like
Bro, like,
Will
and
Levis
they
out there.
literally, and the team they haven't improved at all. Like this team, we literally watched this team be a team that could beat the Patriots in the playoffs. Then we watched this team be a team that could be number one in the motherfucking conference, and they fucking got bounced out first round of playoffs. And this team's gotten worse ever since. Motherfucking AJ Brown, after getting rid of AJ Brown, defense has been deteriorating.
Yeah, if
This nigga had
anyone needs to get
fucking
fired, it's the GM that got rid of AJ Brown when Mike Vrabel clearly wanted to keep him. And then
mm,
D Hop's not a bad pickup, but halfway through the season, they got rid of Kevin Beard. They're like all pro safety, the only all pro left on the defense. And like they trade him halfway through the year to the Eagles. And it's like this team didn't want to win. Like the coach going to do so much. How are you blaming the coach? Like this guy
facts.
took y'all to three straight playoffs when the Titans were bottom feeders, and then um now the last 2 seasons when you're rebuilding, he doesn't get y'all to the promised land, and now it's his fault. I don't know. Mike
Literally.
Gabriel is gonna be a great pickup somewhere else.
Facts. Like literally, we walked into this bitch. When we started the podcast, he was coach of the year. Motherfucking that next year, they broke the record in injuries and still made the playoffs. Like, and then you lose your offensive coordinator. He gets hired to the Falcons. And it's still like, come on now. But hey, it is what it is. Everybody's saying he's number one for the Patriots job right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, Bill Belichick got to get fired, but also I heard Jerron Mayo might be the coach if he's gone. But Vrabel, now that he's open, is definitely not out of the question either.
And
Other
he used to play over there.
Yeah, former Patriots and stuff. The boys run through a wall for that. The other kind of big topic right now is it's basically like who made the playoffs and who didn't make the playoffs. And one of them is the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that was sitting at 8-3, head of the division, one of the best teams in the NFL, AFC at least. Um, a really scary sight. Trevor Lawrence gets banged up. He chooses to not sit, and he kind of keeps forcing himself back every single week. And now we're like I said, 8-3, and now the Jags are sitting at 9-8 and out of the playoffs because they lost to the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel led squad on the final week. All they had to do was beat this. Weren't they like 4-12 at the time? Beat like this 4-win Titans team to go on.
Yeah, I think they finished the season like 5-11 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's 5-12. There's no longer the 16 games. But yeah,
Oh yeah, they
same,
were
same
five and
shit
11.
though. Same shit. You're
Yeah,
not making noise with either 4 or 5 wins.
but yeah, I mean, I saw this shit as wow, Clown Town Jags. You pulled it out. Y'all pulled them out of nowhere. I mean, I'm not mad at Trevor Lawrence for playing. I mean, because if you think that you're that much better than your backup, it is what it is. If you want to keep getting your reps, it is what it is. I'm just shocked that this defense let that. I think that's what a lot of people are talking about. I don't think this defense has been showing up during these last couple of games. They like the offense fucking up is the offense fucking up is a big deal, but I think the fact that like Trevor Lawrence could throw 3 picks in a playoff game and still win was because his defense always kept them in games. I don't know if this defense really kept them in games during these last months. And like we said, motherfuckers are here to play spoiler. We were literally saying, yo, I think Mike Vrabel is gonna come in this bitch and they're gonna sit there like, yo, I'm not going, so you're not going either. And you could just see their faces after the fucking game. And you could just see their faces like Doug Peterson is sick. Mike Vrabel's over here trying not to laugh, smiling and shit.
And
Like, you feel me? Yeah, like this man Mike Vrabel's gonna get. He pretty much got the last win, got the last laugh in the division. He's about to go fucking. He's about to. I feel they say fired, but I really feel like it was a. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. It's either like
bigger,
fuck
better
y'all.
things.
Yeah, if y'all don't like me, I don't like y'all either type shit. I feel like that's probably how the terms they ended on. And now he's about to get the Patriots job, which isn't a good job now, but it might be in a few years.
Yeah, and I mean during the picks, I was talking about how the Bucks, what are they known for? Fumbling and bumbling their seasons away prior to Tom Brady. And I know like it was they had me looking over here, so I wouldn't look over there. So and I forgot about the Jaguars, just a fucking 2.5 hour drive north of Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, and they're known for the exact same shit. And of course, the notorious, bro, like, and you're right, the defense hasn't been showing up, but like, there's only so much the defense can do. Like, Trevor Lawrence
Mm.
has 7 interceptions in his last 4 games. There's only
Yeah, that's
so much you can do to make up for that.
yeah, that's terrible for sure. But yeah. So yeah, let me not even try to attempt to put it all on the defense. I'm glad you said that. But I do remember like Trevor Lawrence having bad games in the past, and the defense was all they had to like hold them
Make
down.
up for
So
it.
yeah. So if a defense is already like going through it, and on top of that, you're fucking putting them in terrible positions and putting them back on the fucking field, they're not gonna eat.
We might have to look into it. It might be the Josh Allen curse. It might be like only one Josh Allen in the NFL is allowed to ball out at a time.
That's so funny because I remember when they played the Bills and Josh Allen, we was saying we got the real Josh, but he went on a streak after that. Like I do remember that saying,
Yeah.
thinking like,
Now that
thinking
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen,
is back to his winning ways the last few weeks, the Jags defense kind of has been really, where's Josh Allen at?
he took that Josh Allen mojo.
Only one Josh. It's a Josh Allen curse right now. Only one Josh Allen's allowed. You know, like this town's only big for one of us, like one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the final chunk of news. I mean, I'm gonna let you pick which one it is. Is it the Bills Dolphins or is it the Texans Colts?
Definitely the Texans Colts. The Texans fucking clinch.
Big
One more time.
crowd.
One more time if you didn't hear it in the back. H-Town clinched the AFC Championship this motherfucker, AFC South Championship this motherfucking weekend. And I understand Tyler Goodson's your favorite player, Paul. But
That was crazy, bro. I felt for when he dropped that shit. I really felt for him. I was like, bro, he's not gonna be the same. He's gonna leave a part of him on the field with that one.
I mean, this is when you make the argument should he have been on the field in the first place?
See
It
that, that
does make
that's never that goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. It makes the most sense though because if Jonathan Taylor's in this position, they have 4 people staring at him versus like Tyler Goodson was there, so nobody cared, and he dropped that bitch. The Colts lose on a 4th and 1 on the what like the 10-yard line, six. Like you're really close to the
Yeah,
red zone,
they needed to score a touchdown though, so it didn't
and,
matter.
and they were driving, so it was crazy.
Garner was doing his thing. He was shimmying.
And I mean, there's so many different. This game was a game. There's so many different things that went down on this game that kind of make it go down like the way it did. I think CJ. I think more than anything, CJ Stroud is a dog. The
I,
dog is the dogs.
I text you best rookie season I've ever laid my eyes on personally.
I seen it, and I'm just like, I mean, I wanted to text you back, like, I don't know, bro. I seen a few like rookies, like Cam Newton and them boys, but I'm just like, nah, pure passing, just different, just is
Then you
different.
gotta remember, like it's Nico Collins, Robert Woods. Like this is like you ever remember the Christmas movie? It was like the Forgotten Toy Island or something. Like that's what they got over there at wide receiver. This is like, yeah, you was once something on the Rams. You was once something over here. No one wanted to pay you anymore. You got stuck with Houston, buddy. Have fun in Houston.
And that shit sounded so bad last year. Like, oh yeah, death sentence.
Dalton Schultz, Dallas Cowboys, they didn't want to pay him. They sent him to the ugly cousin across the street.
But even Brandon Cooks got the fuck up out of there. Like you're like, yeah, bro, I'm not dealing with this.
And then Tank Dell, was he like a sixth rounder? Like this wasn't the premium. This wasn't Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers or Quentin Williams or Quentin Johnson. I mean, and that's why I think it was one of the best. And like you can say Patrick Mahomes, you can say Joe Burrow. They weren't first years; those were second years. They got hurt or sat. And then but Cam Newton's a great another like in the last 10 years, I think, or the last like 10, 15 years. Cam Newton's probably the only other one that I can think off the top of my head that's like, yeah, he was that
But
guy.
yeah, but yeah, even Kevin Newton, but he had some decent rookies. He had Kevin Benjamin, and then he had can't remember who his other receiver
Steve
was.
Smith.
Steve Smith. So yeah, he had
There
way
was
better.
that. It's just that one throw he made off the back foot, just like a flick, and it was a air. It was like a 15 yard. It was nothing too crazy deep, and it just under Nico Collins caught that fucker. I was like, wow, that I thought it
Hustle.
was an interception. I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, this game went back and forth all day. Jonathan Taylor broke for I think what was it like a 44-yard touchdown that had the Colts lit. Then they
A
did the
few big plays too.
they did the 2 point conversion with the pick and pop play, and I was just like, oh, y'all boys just really got something. Hold on, Minshew over here doing his little shimmy and shit. It was a great game. I mean, CJ Stroud had to show his nuts because I think the Colts defense was stepping up until those last couple of drives because that's when CJ Stroud gave no fucks. What do you go for like 6 for 6, 53 yards type shit on the
Yeah,
last drive?
just
But
walk
the
that bitch down.
facts, but the fucking kicker misses a field goal, and then you watch Gardner Minshew bringing this bitch down like, oh fuck, they might do the damn thing. And then it gets the fourth, they call the timeout. You look over at Steve Sark, whatever his name is, and the coach is looking at Garner talking about so that's on you. We had this. I'm like, bro, don't do him like that. You got you. And then next thing you know, Tyler gets and drops it, and the game over. I know the entire Colts locker room was sick when they got in that bitch.
Oh yeah, bro. Like I was in the moment. It's like, why the fuck is JT not on the field? He has 188 rushing yards. Like he's doing the whole thing himself for the Colts offense. But then the point you made is the perfect example on why. It's like the sneak attack where we got you looking over here, not looking over here, and that's exactly what they had going. It's just Garnu should have put that on the chest, but it was on. He could have caught it still. At the end of the day, I feel
Yeah,
I
it,
feel for him, but yeah, it goes a little bit of both ways.
yeah, it could have been a better ball for sure, but like it was a decent ball.
Yeah, especially in the moment. This isn't like a random second down in the first quarter where you don't we forget about and move on. This is the game on the line. But before we have to move on, shout out JT. Yeah, I was
I
like,
thought,
a couple things to hit on real quick.
yeah,
What's up?
super quick on that. It was they missed a lot of throws. I feel like that was the difference between them and the Texans. The Texans were a newer team, but the Texans gelled well. This is the Texans are a younger team, but they gelled a lot well better than the Colts were because there was a touchdown to Mo Ali Cox. So like, bro, right over here, just like they missed a few throws that could have changed the entire momentum of the game, and that ended up having to settle for field goals.
And JT 188 a touchdown. He had a great game. Literally, you rarely see a running back have more rushing yards than passing yards for the team. But that's what happened for the Colts. CJ Stroud is going to be the focal point for the Texans because he should be. This is a fucking rookie that's breaking the records for like pass interception ratio for a rookie. Yard, like he's just on the same run. Led the team to the fucking playoffs when they were probably projected 4 total wins this whole season.
And threw for 4,000. He's like the fourth or fifth person to ever do that.
Yeah, but out of all the people that did it, by far the better pass interception ratio. By far, he only had like a 1% interception ratio, which was insane. They said the last person to do that was Aaron Rodgers when his MVP season.
Oh well.
Nico Collins, shout out him, 9 catches, 195 yards and a touchdown. That's going to go unnoticed because of everyone's talking about CJ Stroud, but 195 on 9 catches and a touchdown is absolutely insane.
It was unstoppable.
If I was to ask you, go Kev, where did Nico Collins or Tank Dell, Rob Woods, any of these guys? I'm pretty sure it's Nico Collins. I think he was the leading receiver for this team. Where do you think he finished on the year for receiving yards, or does like ranking wise, like top 50?
I thought you were gonna ask me what college you went to. I was about to say boy.
Oh no.
But I don't think he finished too high just off the fact that like Tank Duff and the boys were splitting a lot of reps. But I would expect him to finish like maybe top 20.
Yeah, like that's just said. Like Tank Dell had a couple of weeks. He was the guy. Robert Woods was originally the guy. He's had his targets all year. Nico Collins emerged as the guy. Noah Brown had like a 3-week period where he was catching like 150 a game. Dalton Schultz had his own thing going on. Nico Collins ends the year with 80 catches, 1,300 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Oh,
wow. 8th in the league on yardage.
Wow. I didn't know they was throwing it to him because Tank Dell was getting the love.
That's what when I saw the 18, I saw where he ranked 8th, and then all of a sudden it's like the other guys aren't too far behind. It's like the other guys are all also in the top 50. Just a little further down the totem pole.
Wow. Shout out them boys. Shout out that Texans offense. They did something this year.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all. We can't spend too much time, but just real quick, I have to pinpoint a 1,300 yard 8th. Fantasy football is going to look crazy next year because who knows? Maybe this guy's going to be one of the top guys you're drafting, or is it Tank Dell because they got that chemistry? First game on the slate: Steelers Ravens. We were both on the Ravens here. Tyler, I think I swayed you into the Ravens with the idea of it's Tyler Huntley. I got to double check. You might took Steelers. I'm just pulling it up, but Ravens. Oh yeah, you took Steelers. I took Ravens. 17-10. Mason. I mean, there was a lot of defense on both sides. I know the Steelers got the win, secured the playoffs. Shout out Steelers. Mike Tomlin 10-7 with this ragtag team. But TJ Watt looks like he might be hurt. Yeah, he might be hurt for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, he's done, kid. He's done. I'm not. I mean, like done, but like, yeah, he's not. Nah.
So it's you won. You secured it, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Mike, like they say, Mike Tomlin doesn't have no losing seasons. I'm just still continuing to be shocked at how this offense looks so much better under Mason Rudolph than it does under Kenny Pickett.
Fucking Deontay Johnson was cutting up. George Pickens, low key, has had a good season himself. But Najee Harris, the running team, that's my whole thing. It's the running backs are actually eating. Like Najee Harris is, I don't know if he's handing the ball off better. I don't know what's going on, but the running backs is running, setting up the play action, and the defense is playing Steelers defense.
Right, and Kenny Pickett is upset over there. That boy was definitely cleared to play, but hey, man, you feed the hot hand.
You're not bigger than the logo on your chest.
That's real.
And that's especially big in Steeler territory.
Ooh.
Ravens, though, this wasn't a game they had to win. They're going to stick here. But how do you feel about now that the Steelers are in it? They're, I want to say, the 7th seed, right? So they're going to be taking on the Bills, I think, week 1. Oh, not week 1, but for the first week of playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm double checking. Yeah, my phone not working right now, but I'm 99% sure that's how it goes. Is that a matchup you think that Mike Tomlin's feeling good about?
I don't think there's any matchup that Mike Tomlin fears. He knows that they come in and they play Steeler football and they try to win games. But that's just the best way. I'd leave it at that right there. I think they're gonna come in and try to play this game. They're gonna come in and make this game close. But this Bills team is rolling. But we're not even gonna get into that until the
Yeah, until
preview.
next week. I know. But it was just someone pointing out that hey, the Ravens have been undefeated against all these other top teams, except for the Steelers and Browns. So like maybe does AFC North know what they're doing if they can make it.
I like two out of the three teams to make it to the next round. And one of them has a first round bye, so that's what I'm saying or something.
We talked Texans Colts Saturday. Let's get into Sunday. Bucks beating Panthers 9-0. This was an ugly game. Defense on both sides. Baker and them secure themselves a fucking division championship. I texted a lot of people. I was like, honestly, the Saints should be division winners, but the Panthers are just that fucking shitty.
Yeah, I mean the Saints wanted to beat, yeah, because they did beat the Bucks straight up, and then they
They
still
would be
won.
number one, and now they're not even in the playoffs at all. But and they played their best game of the season. That was the whole thing. I was like, bro, y'all playing the best game of y'all career, and it don't even matter because the Panthers fucking suck right now.
Guys back, and I don't think they lost too many close games. They definitely lost a couple one score games, but there weren't a million games where they like missed a field goal or something like that. So I think it's very interesting. I mean, the Panthers are terrible. The Bucks, they're terrible, but just slightly less terrible than the Panthers. They fucking won. They fucking. I don't even think they went.
They went 2-15. They're the first team in like 100 years to have back-to-back 0 point games.
Oh, that's crazy.
We're talking about black and white. Their helmets were just some leather strap, bro. Fucking. We're talking about back then.
Yeah, it was bad, man. But hey, man, shout out the Bucks, our 2024 NFC South champions.
Yeah, 9-8. Who would have thought?
Oh, and Alex is
You're
talking.
not in the group chats. There's no. I'm eating a lot of shrapnel for our NFC South standings picture.
Oh, but I'm in the. You see, you're not. You're in the Instagram group chat, but you don't use Instagram. But like,
Oh, so
oh,
you
not.
be getting
Like,
it too? Yeah.
Alex made sure to drop that in the chat. I was just looking like, well, see what happened was.
Gator's the only one that's looking incredible for
Yeah.
NFC South. I really had the Panthers at number 2. That's crazy. Our next game on the slate, Bengals Browns 31-14. Bengals I think it was like 31-0 at one point before the Browns go on and score some points. But yeah, we should. I just didn't know that. I don't know if you saw the clip. I didn't know Jake Browning was like. I didn't know Jake Browning had it like that on and off the field. So shout out my boy Jake Browning and a big win for that guy.
I'm crying. What clip?
You ain't see his girl in the stands?
Oh, she bad?
That boy has it on and on. He winning no matter what the score says on that scoreboard.
I'm crying. You know me. I'm gonna look her up after the podcast.
Yeah,
Follow
he said
follow
they're like, I apologize. I didn't know. I didn't know you.
I
Like,
wasn't aware of your game, bro. I'm telling you, bro, it was the number one, bro. I mean, we're not gonna get too deep in it. We're gonna stay professional on the podcast. But bro was the number one bro was the number one high school quarterback in California history. Like, bet you there was a lot of pussy to swimming out
he
there.
was living. Yeah, he's living kind of nice there. That's something
Yeah,
you to fall back on right there.
yeah. Like I feel like there's a good like, hey, I was the quarterback at blah 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 high school back in 2018.
Cali too. That's one of the big three. That's like the one of the holy trifectas of high school football.
And think about the motherfuckers that come out of Cali, like motherfucking Aaron Rodgers, probably Joe Montana. Like, there's a lot that, like, when I saw that you're the number one, you have all the state records. I'm like, bro, do you understand how many nice niggas come out your state?
And you're the best ever.
You're
On
like
paper,
literally.
on paper, bro, that you the best ever.
That's why I got so mad when I found out dude was just sitting on the bench.
What the fuck?
Like,
You got
I
the
got
greatest high
so
school college.
I got so mad. Like I was like, why is he on the bench? He can play. He understands the system. Why is he on the bench when Joe Burrow is playing injured?
And I mean, look at him. Like they beat the fuck out the Browns. Don't get me wrong. We were both wrong on that. We both. I think we. Yeah, we. No, we both took the Bengals actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we took the Bengals.
But it was because they were sitting everybody. But I mean, 31
No,
still 31. Joe Mixon looked like he was back to his former self. I think this if they were going to the playoffs, this is good for the team. But like it's crazy to say, like they went 9-8. The whole AFC North went above 500, but the Bengals are not making the playoffs at 9-8. Then the Browns fucking 11-6. They're ready for the playoffs. They said that my boy Joe Flacco get a day of rest.
telling you, the boys knew what they was doing. Kevin Stefanski. If it wasn't for D'Amico Ryans, Kevin Stefanski coach of the year.
I see. This is when I feel like the two awards. I want multiple awards, bro. I want them both to. And what they did was absolutely astounding.
Yeah, like coach of the year, like most impressive coach.
Yeah, I want coach of the year and most impressive coach. Right. But yeah, shout out them boys. Bengals 9-8 don't make the playoffs. That's just still crazy to me because I would love to see how Jake Browning and them like. I would love the story to continue for them boys.
They would have caught a nice matchup too. I bet you they would have caught a good because they match up. You know how good this Bengals
Defense is solid, good secondary, great interior line, D line, and then Jake Browning's just getting into his rhythm with his receivers and Joey
and
B.
they always play. They always play their best football in the playoffs.
Yeah, it don't make no sense, bro. That's like it sucks. If this was another year, 9-8 gets them at least to the dance.
Yeah.
Next game, one of my best bets: Lions beating the Vikings 30-20. This was never in doubt. This was an ass whooping early. Like I said, this was a banner game, bro. They put the banner on the roof, first time in 30 years. There was no reason for the starters to be playing, especially for as long as they was. But they out there. It was just balling, bro. It was just another fucking Sunday for Dan Campbell and the boys.
And don't get me wrong, it was at cost. Samuel Laporte. I don't know when he got injured, but he did get hurt. So that's gonna be something that you're gonna be missing in the playoffs. But like you said, Pablo, this was a banner game. They came in ready to fuck shit up. They were fucking bulldozing this team for most of the game. And they had Justin Jefferson frustrated. He ended up scoring a touchdown at the end when they got the garbage time scores to make the game a little closer. But yeah, this Lions team is ready for the playoffs. That was my takeaway from the entire game.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. At least because it was like Dan Campbell, Arthur Smith, and Mike Vrabel. So that was like the trio of coaches, and I'm just happy at least my boy. We got at least one of them for next season for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to throw Doug Peterson in there next year.
Yeah, Dougie P might get kind of hot if Trevor Lawrence does the same shit again. But yeah, Lions are ready. Amon St. Brown dyed his hair blue. That boy ready for the playoffs.
He is nice. He is so nice, bro. Amon St. Brown. He's not many people are gonna talk about the season he had this year, but bro is nice. Every time I watch him, like half man, half amazing, and a half.
And for the first, and it's gonna be Detroit Lions versus the Rams for the first round of the playoffs. Matthew Stafford trip back to Detroit.
Yeah, I'd say that's fun. That's two teams playing some really good football right now.
I said it on my Twitter. If y'all didn't get to see it, it was the video. Amon St. Brown dyed his hair blue and did his little cutie boy pose in the pictures. My dad. Well, they finna get beat the fuck up after I saw that video. They is just toast. That's all I'm saying. I didn't let it be. This is a hell of it be known. Jets Patriots 17-3. Jets win. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't watch this game at all. I didn't watch a single snap. This game meant absolutely nothing to me come Sunday.
I'm crying. It was a red zone game. It popped up on the red zone.
It was a red zone game. It was one of those.
Yeah, it popped up on the red zone a few times, and then I just saw Bill wearing a fucking 300 layers and then fucking walking off the Patriots field, which looked like for the last time. And I don't know what he said to Robert Saleh. It looked like they said, man, fuck you. Right.
But you remember that clip of Shannon Sharp when he was leaving Undisputed? He was like, "When you lay your head at night, I just want you to think that I gave it everything I had." That's how I feel about Bill Belichick. Like at the end of the day, I don't think he ever tried to tank. If anything, he was trying to cheat to win, even when he didn't have to. Like for games that didn't
Yeah.
matter, that man was cheating to win that game. If Christian Gonzalez didn't get hurt and Matthew Judon didn't get hurt, and this defense could have stayed as elite as I think Bill Belichick thought in his head they was, we might be
Yeah.
talking about it. Mac Jones may still have a job, and the Patriots are teetering on playoff contention.
Which is quite crazy, but it is what it is. Shout
And
out to Patriots. Shout
yeah,
out Bill Belichick for the career. And I'm hearing that the Jets are thinking about trading Zach Wilson. I don't know for what,
yeah,
but
but I don't know what you get with that, bro. That's the fucking Volkswagen that from 30 years ago.
yeah, you made it seem like it was like Jared Goff being traded for Matthew Stafford. Like, no, nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that.
That shit ain't even showing up to the dealership. It's breaking down, right?
Literally, like I don't know who was buying in on that, but somebody has to, I guess.
Next game, Saints Falcons. Saints 48-17. It was a ball game. Saints were down. I think it was like 14-7 before some fuck ups started happening for the Falcons.
It was 17-17 at halftime.
It was 17. Yeah, but before that, I want to say, yeah, it was 14-7 in the first quarter. And then I want to say that's when Heineke threw the interception.
Heineke didn't play.
Not
It
Heineke,
was
Riddler,
Desmond.
the fucking Riddler himself.
Yeah, I mean it was a
Because
bad
he
game. It
started
was a bad,
hot. Well, it was also B. John padded his stats for that 70-yard touchdown, but it was like
yeah,
7 for 7, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. I was like, God damn, he cooking.
yeah. He looked good for the first two drives. They drove it down the first drive. They did a good job. I mean, we looked good in the beginning as usual. Like we not as usual, but we looked good. We looked competitive. But Jameis Winston gave them boys one of them talks at halftime because they came out ready and they
Coach
fucking.
Winston.
And then the worst part was is the fucking the play that the knee that they called the audible, switched it to a run and score, which led to the argument afterwards. And I'm thinking like Dennis Allen's like, man, it's football, stop crying. Like now he's in this bitch like, I understand, man, I understand.
I didn't even call it.
Yeah, like I was like, oh damn. Now I don't feel bad because fuck the Saints, but now we look like we're in the wrong. Like,
But that's like you taking like your homeboy did the dirt and you get in trouble with your mama and she calling you a dumbass and you're saying there like I did I I told him not to do this. I literally
literally,
told him not to do this.
literally, I told him what I do is walk and need this bitch to go home. But
James
hey,
Winston said ISO 91 up the gut.
but it's also on them boys because like it's also on us too because why did we throw an interception that got stopped at the one like
Hey, one of the funniest tweets of Sunday. What? Oh no, it was Monday actually because it was after the game. We got the post interview and everything. And after Winston had told the media, like, yeah, they called it, but like we took a talk as a team.
he said it
And,
was a team decision.
yeah, we did. I mean, basically, fuck that guy. We're gonna do what we're gonna. And but one of the quote we tweet for that clip was because Winston has said like, yeah, it was already like 41 17. It wasn't really a big deal. So like, yeah, like you already put 41 on you, like it's gonna be 48. No big thing. And he was like, people were like, damn, bro. He basically said like the first 41 ain't make you mad, 48 make you mad. Like that's what pissed you off. 48. The first 41 you was fine with though. But yeah, no, like Saints. Derek Carr had 4 touchdowns, 264. He had only 6 incompletions. Someone named Kendra Miller apparently plays for the Saints, Kev. I didn't know if you know that. But Kendra Miller had a ball game too with a couple of touchdowns. The defense balled out. And the worst part is they look hot. They look red fucking hot on the couch because they ain't going nowhere after this week.
With Stallions crib.
Arthur Smith ain't got a job, but he's hosting the party.
The boys got dressed up. The boys got dressed up for the big dance, and the date canceled on them.
Man, they said they're watching the Instagram story. They see the date at the dance, right?
With the butts.
Yeah, they got the text. I don't feel too well. I think it's COVID. And they see on Instagram 2 hours later, bro. Old girl at the dance. That's crazy.
Throwing that ass back.
Yeah, that's what happened to the Saints, bro. I know, Kev. It's to you, it's just another rebuilding season. So like, no harm, no foul. But being
Not
Saints
really. I
fans,
think
bro, they spent like $100 million on Derek Carr and some pieces around him.
no, that's real. I don't think it was a rebuilding season. I think it was a squandered opportunity. We had a chance to. We were supposed to. We could have finished number one if we just didn't squander our opportunity.
Yeah, well, it happens.
It was it was our division to lose, and we lost it.
Our next game, Seahawks 21, Cardinals 20. This was a ball game all the way to the end. It sucks for the Seahawks because like they won the game, they did what they had to, and just it doesn't matter. That's the way of the land. The way of the land. They missed the playoffs. They did beat
Amen.
the Cardinals though.
Yeah, amen. It is what it is. I'd rather have seen the Seahawks team than anybody in the NFC South. In the playoffs. But it is what it is, man. You can't be losing games. I think if they beat the Cowboys, it would have been a whole completely different ball game. And we would have been in this bitch Seahawks going to the playoffs red hot lit. But they lost that game in very unconventional fashion. So that was one of the catalysts for it. And I think it is what it is. That's gonna be my own catchphrase for this episode. It is what it is. Can't change nothing and do nothing about it.
I will say, people may ask, did Kyler Murray play good enough to keep his job? I'm gonna say, I don't know, but James Conner did. He kept it. He got his fucking job next year. James Conner balling. Next game, Packers Bears. This was one of the big ones here. Jordan Love. When I said earlier to start this episode, this was some big games, roller coaster of a season, legacy games. This is who I was talking about when I said legacy games. This is the start of the Jordan Love era. We were skeptical at first. We gave some highlight to it last episode. But we gotta have to highlight it again. This man, first year starting, not his rookie season, but it could basically be it. Basically, it is. Took the Packers to the playoffs with a slightly worse team, arguably, than what Aaron Rodgers had last year. And I didn't expect much of it. I think you had them finishing in the third or fourth in the division. I think I had
Because the Gator got me over here from
Bear Nation. Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I think I had the Packers going right above them, but who would have thought that they would have a winning season in the playoffs and is one of the hottest offenses in the NFL. They really could put up, honestly, with anybody. I'm not saying that they're the best offense, but you said they give you a couple drives, and they've shown that these last few weeks. Like, they're going to give you 4 or 5 drives to put up points.
Yeah, they obviously they're a team that looked well and got better, and I don't think their defense was ever the focal point of winning games. I think they had a decent defense, and but I always thought that we expected more out of this defense at points, especially. And then we were shocked when they traded Rashwell Douglas. So like I was never expecting this team to look great, but they put it together. Shout out Matt LaFleur. Shout out, they definitely made this shit work, and I actually want to see them play in the playoffs because I think they could win a game, depending on who they're matched up with.
I think they played the Cowboys. You can't say you're telling me that's not an interesting ass matchup. You could see the Packers winning that game, and you can see the Cowboys winning that game.
If it was at home for the Packers, I could see them winning that game for sure. But we'll see what happens. We'll talk that next week.
Next game, Chiefs Chargers. Chiefs secure division 13-12. Chris Jones gets the sack to get his 1.5 million bonus, which honestly should have been given to him to begin with on his original contract. If that should have gave him. But I mean, he got his money. Shout out him. Harrison Buckner, honestly, maybe the hottest kicker in the league, but also Cameron Dicker. This is literally both of their games. Like Cameron Dicker, who made the push for AFC kicker, Pro Bowler. Harrison Buckner, same division. Like this is a battle. This is almost like two Pat McAfee's going at it type shit. Like this is Adam
Yeah, I was
Vinatieri.
about to say,
It was a kicker battle.
yeah, didn't Harrison Butler kick like 5 or 6 field goals this game or something like that?
I think he had four, but the I think he had three, but the other one had four, and the Chiefs scored a touchdown or some shit. I don't know, but it was 13-12. Wasn't nothing crazy. Chiefs secured number 3 in the playoff AFC wise. Once again, division winner. Chiefs suck. Not Chiefs. Chargers suck. No Herbert, no Magic. Ain't really
Uh,
much to it other than like the Chiefs are still looking pretty bad going into the playoffs.
yeah, they don't look great. It's just Super Bowl hangover because the Eagles also don't look great either. So I'm not gonna come with them looking crazy.
If there's only any team that I felt like should have played starters for at least a majority of the game or half the game, it should have been the Chiefs. I think like this was a game that like it's a get right game. We're playing the fucking Chargers that have no star players anymore. They're hurt, and
Yeah,
instead of getting their starters right, they let them sit. And
I would
they're playing the Dolphins next week, so that's gonna be the game. I can't wait.
I would have let them sit too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Next one, Raiders Broncos 24-14. Raiders end the season 8-9. Broncos end the season 8-9. Raiders had nothing to play for. Broncos nothing to play for. Broncos had the Sean Payton winning record to play for. Didn't happen though. Raiders play a little bit of spoiler to that against a division rival. How do you feel about being a Bronco County owner?
I mean, the Bronco County, they definitely came through and did better than they were expected when it came to like the mid of the season and stuff like that. But I think this game did mean something to the Raiders, and that's why they won it. I think they're behind Antonio Pierce. The fan base is behind Antonio Pierce. So winning this game was like, bro, don't fuck this up to the owner.
Yeah, no, and I think it was the Giants. It came out today and they said if the Raiders don't re-sign him, that's who they want as their defensive coordinator. Because
Nice.
Raiders have been buzzing, so like at least he knows that. They're like, hey, if the Raiders fumble it and don't get this shit correct and re-sign this guy, I don't know if you want the Giants defensive coordinator job. I don't know. I don't know if that's something you're really jumping at. But if you don't get another, if you got somebody you can call if you need them.
Yeah. As long as the Raiders don't fuck this up, they did it before. We've been talking all season about how you guys are setting up to do it again. So don't fuck up.
Would you? This is gonna be a weird. This is a catch-22 question, Kev. If you was either a Raiders or Broncos GM, would y'all just trade y'all's quarterback straight up just to see if it fucking fixes it? A Jimmy
Fuck,
G for Russell Wilson.
fuck no, you can pay that Russell Wilson. You can pay that Russell
But
Wilson back.
Jimmy G's getting that bag too. Like he's on it for the next 3 years. He's not getting a Russell Wilson bag, but it
Yeah,
ain't the cheap
Russell
either.
Wilson. Russell Wilson is guaranteed. Like I don't think Jimmy G is making a bag like that for off on the bench because of it. Well, he is for sure, but like he's not making no 35 million.
Yeah, no, I know it's the levels to it, but it's still they both get in the bag for being backup quarterbacks now.
Yeah,
Next game, this was kind of ties into what we're talking about DeMarco Ryans. Giants beat the Eagles 27-10. Talking about teams that are playing arguably their worst football heading into the playoffs. Eagles probably have to be at the top of that list. They're
yeah, terrible.
5. They've only beat the Eagles in a nail biter 2 weeks ago. I mean, they only beat the Giants 2 weeks ago in a nail biter to follow up and get absolutely slaughtered by the same team 2 weeks later, 27-10.
Yeah, we're talking about the Jaguars being 8-3 and finishing
9 and
8-9,
8.
9-8. The Eagles being 10-1 and finishing whatever they finished is much more. Because I remember I was very high on this Eagles team
11
for a
and
while.
6.
I was very high on this Eagles team for a while because they were winning close, ugly games, but they were going through the buzzsaw. They were playing the Bills, they were playing this team, they were playing that team. But once they played that Ravens team, The shit was never the same.
Yeah, and like they broke them. They showed like, and was it the Ravens? You mean the 49ers? When the 49ers said, "Hey, we gave you all the
Yeah,
fucking
the
blueprint."
49ers.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
it
think they played the Ravens too, though.
did they play the Ravens? You might be. I thought no, the 49ers played
I,
the.
oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, the 49ers spanked them, and
They
after that,
lost. They lost to the 49ers, and then the Cowboys, the Seahawks, and then Cardinals, and then the Giants to wrap it up.
yeah. Once they lost to the Cardinals, that's when we were like, oh, this isn't good.
I think that plus 12. But yeah, no, but the Giants, the rapper, I'm in the chat with Lonnie and Corey, and you can only, bro, this was all the shit. One's a Giants fan, one's a Eagles fan. All the season, all the shit. Oh, y'all paid Daniel Jones. Oh, Jalen Hurts is a fraud. Oh, and then when Jalen Hurts is an MVP convo, that then even Cam Newton's catching strays for being he's not as good as Jalen Hurts. Oh, if you're a Panthers fan like Marcus, like and then for it all to be capped off with the shitty quarterback play and the team play out of this Eagles these last few weeks, and then to lose to this Giant squad. Oh my god! Oh my god, bro! I was watching. It was getting ugly in the chats for the Eagles fans. You can't hide
Yes.
behind the back no more. No more excuses. They might be the worst team headed into the playoffs right now.
Oh yeah, they definitely are for sure. Momentum is not there. There's not much to do. They're not comfortable. They're not doing anything great. But it's up to them to change that. They have a decent matchup first round
They,
against the Bucks.
AJ Brown might not play. His leg injury. He might he was grabbing at his leg for a while before he walked off the field. I don't know if he's playing or not, but it looked like a fucking significant injury. And then Jalen Hurts literally like broke his finger. That shit was popped on his throwing hand. So like he's probably gonna play through it, but still like the injury. And then Devontae Smith didn't play last game either. So like the injuries are there right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully they can fucking figure it out. But right now they don't look well at all.
And then our final game on the slate was, I believe it's the final game. Oh, no, it's not. But one of our last games is the Rams beating the 49ers 21-20. Rams secured their division, not division, Rams secured a playoff spot going 10-7. Not a bad season for a team no one expected much from. And 49ers, they're another team that's kind of stumbling their way into the finish line. They still are number one team in the NFL or number one team in the NFC, but they're not playing their best ball right now. It looks like it was their backups. So I mean, it was Sam Darnold and them, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I wasn't stressing this game at all. I'm shocked that the Rams only won by 1 point. Puka Nakua, shout out him. He broke the records and all that good stuff. We know he was gonna do that. So now Matthew Stafford has another accolade on this shit. He has the fucking greatest receiving.
Yeah, he's right. Like his resume to be like, this is what I've accomplished for other people, goes crazy.
Yeah, and then like yeah, he's done some shit. So like that's pretty cool to add that to it. Maybe this is what gets him into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I mean, let's see what this Rams team that looks like next week because I think they've been playing some great football the last few weeks as well. They're real nice and hot. And the 49ers, let's make sure that they just don't come in dry. Like you got a lot of weeks in between. So let's see how they look when they come back in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, they really do. Like Rams, him taking on the Lions this upcoming, like that's not a game where, like I don't know, like I know it's in Detroit. There's gonna be a lot of Stafford fans in that motherfucker building. Like
Oh
that,
yeah.
like that is like that's gonna be a game where it's not out of the round where they're gonna like not win. Like they have a good chance to win that game. But there's a couple storylines heading into next week that I can't wait for. Like Baker. Like what if we get like a Browns versus Bucks Super Bowl? And we got like fucking Baker going up against the Browns.
Stop it.
Something all wild shit, I know. But yeah, they beat the 49ers with backups. I think that they still put up 20, which showed you that's the Shanahan system. They're gonna get points. But like it definitely wasn't Brock Purdy leading the show.
Elijah Mitchell didn't stay though.
Oh yeah, as a starter, he definitely looked nice. It definitely showed like, hey, if we don't have CMC, we can still we can still run this thing. Let's not get twisted.
Facts.
Cowboys 38, Commanders 10, never in
As,
doubt.
yeah, I say as they should. Shout out CeeDee Lamb. That boy finna get hey.
Too bad he wasn't the number one receiver this year. Tyreek ends with number one on a couple less games, as I know like, who's the big dog of the NFL. But yeah, CD and Dak are honestly the best two NFC. Like, who's playing better quarterback in NFC right now, other than Dak? And then same thing, who's playing better wide receiver than CD Lamb in the NFC? And then who's the best tandem?
Yeah, Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins looking like. Wait till we come back.
No, for real. But like other than that, Jordan Love's playing great quarterback, but like he doesn't have a true number one receiver.
Mm-hmm. Tank Dell heard ass looking like you lucky I'm in the AFC.
Nico Collins, you mean?
Yeah,
195.
yeah.
And then our final game, the game I've been avoiding.
I could
Dolphins
tell him he didn't talk about it first. I was like, oh, he wants to talk about this last.
Dolphins losing 14-21 in Miami to the Buffalo Bills, which ends our season in the wild card instead of division winner, which now belongs to the Buffalo Bills. Shout out Josh Allen, them boys. But now we're on the road for every game. Josh Allen and them go from what the fuck's going on in Buffalo? Josh Allen's playing the worst football of his career to it's just another season that Josh Allen and them boys handle business.
Yeah, I mean, I would hate for like people to sit there and just think like, oh, Josh Allen is phenomenal. I think that this team played a better second half. They won the first half, and you can't win the game in the first half. You can't win the game in the second half though. And I think it was just a tale of two halves. But Josh Allen throwing those two picks early was not a good look.
Tua did it too, though. That was the worst part. Was like Tua threw the first one, I think.
Yeah, I don't know who threw the first one, but like, I remember just seeing these teams go back and forth. Because I was like, all right, these teams played well, but both of these teams, I don't think did the best they could do to win. This is exactly how I want to see them looking in the playoffs. If I have these teams expecting to do big things in the playoffs, I just think that Tua looked a lot. This defense got on their ass pretty much, and like those last few plays was crazy. Like that save because the way that they were playing the defense, I was really locked in on this the last drive, and they're playing three safeties: Jordan Poyer, Michael Hyde, and that dude Taylor Rapp. So Taylor Rapp on the second to last play, he fucking kills Tyreek Hill. He's like, yeah, bro, you're not getting this. Blurred
Blew
Tyreek
his
Hill.
ass up.
Yeah, and then as well as he was going for the ball at the same time, so it just looked great. And then the next play, he gets the fucking interception on the whole last other side, and I was like, oh, I just think that this team just knew that's where the ball was going because he didn't even play the route. Like he jumped the fuck out the route so fast. This is one of those games that like team just knew what you guys were going to do, and I think this is what scares me about the Dolphins. I don't know how figured out you guys are, but last year at this point in the season, everybody was saying, yeah, we have the Dolphins figured out, but they didn't have Tua. And now you guys have Tua, you guys have Tyreek, and motherfuckers are screaming that they got you figured out. But you guys also have Jalen Waddle. You also were missing a few more pieces on the I don't think you guys have more strength. So like it is what it is. This isn't you guys at full strength, but it does make us ask the question: is Mike McDaniel's system, is his offense that just something that you can figure out by the end of the season?
Where we didn't have so Waddle was out, Raheem Mostert 21 touchdowns on the season. I think that's a big fucking deal.
Yes, that's a
touchdowns is a fucking
the record is
massive,
28.
Yeah.
The record's 28. Like that's a lot of fucking touchdowns.
Jalen Waddle has played only 14 games this season, and he still has over 1,000 yards, and he's still top 20. He's only like 10 yards behind Devontae Smith and Chris Godwin, two of the best number two wide receivers in NFL. But yeah, he has three less games than both of them because he's been hurt these last couple of weeks. Just to like put in perspective, like yeah, I think missing Waddle and Morster's a big fucking deal, and then I think missing Bradley Chubb, who's on the IR, Jalen Phillips, who's on the IR, Connor Williams, starting center, one of the best centers in the league, on the IR, Isaiah Wynn, our rotational left tackle, on the IR. Fucking Xavier Howard was out on the game. Cameron Good, linebacker, out on the game. Jerome Baker, starting linebacker, our best linebacker, out because of this game and probably going to be out for the rest of the season. Andrew Van Geekel, who's going to be out next week now because of what happened this game where he got hurt and was our last fucking pass rusher. Yeah, I think all these injuries are fucking hurting us. So for people that are talking about, oh, Mike McDaniel, this offense is not working no more, the defense is getting beat up. It's like, yeah, whenever all these key fucking players are hurt leading into the last couple of weeks of the season, and then on the last game of the season, a few of them get added to the IR list. Now we're going to play the Chiefs without Van Geekel, without Jerome Baker. Hopefully Waddle will be back. Hopefully, we'll get Jalen Ramsey back, and we're not going to have the other seven starters already named.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really coming at you guys in the sense that it was figured out. I
Not
definitely had that
you, just I'm
question.
just saying in general. A lot of people are talking like, "Oh yeah, this Dolphins team are frauds." It's like, bro, do you not see these injuries we have right now? Just because we have Tyreek and Tua doesn't mean the rest of the team isn't hurt.
Yeah, I think I just look at this as what are you guys going to do come these playoffs? Because this game was a game that you guys could have won. It was in the
Yeah,
first half, you guys definitely won. You
clean
guys
up
were
on the
winning.
turnovers. The defense put
Yeah,
us in positions to win. With Christian Wilkins made that crazy forced fumble plus fumble recovery midair. Like,
yeah, and I think you guys only lost because this team just knows you guys. So that's why, like, I'm like, does this team know you guys, or is this going to be or is this one of those systems that are more figured out? But at the end of the day, I think what it really comes down to with you guys, and is just I think just that communication without thinking, without talking. Like there's been like, for example, like I think it's been like 2 games in a row where Tyreek Hill has like an egregious drop, but it's more feels like it doesn't feel like he's
yeah,
dropping it because it just feels like he just didn't know the ball was coming yet. Like you feel me? Like I don't know. Like there's just like little things that you guys can do and fine tune, and you guys are the number 2 team in the AFC. Like that's all I look at it as.
I honestly, so that was the next thing. This is the last thing too, really. For a non-Dolphins fan, someone that's not biased, because I know my answer to this. Your peer eyes looking at this, how do you feel? Would you rather be at home, number 2 seed, taking on the Buffalo Bills, which are a good team, or on the road to take on this Kansas City team that's kind of been one of the worst teams leading into the playoffs, just like the Eagles and other teams? You rather be the home team?
Oh, for sure. You guys play way better at home.
No, I know we play better at home, but I'm just saying, like matchup wise, like we wouldn't have to
Yeah,
play the Ravens or the Bills. Like,
yeah.
it,
I think when I'm that's the only reason why I think you guys should have won this game. Like I was just like, you guys aren't the healthiest right now, and I don't think this you want to go straight into having to deal with this fucking yeah, I don't think you guys want to go straight down and
just
deal with like
think about how would you feel, Kevin, if like the game you played against the Saints this week, right? But y'all win that game, it's close as fuck, 21-17. And then y'all got to play the Saints the next week in Atlanta. Would you feel how confident? Because this is another divisional game. I know me personally, it's kind of like, man, it's a coin flip every fucking time we play. Like I'm not as confident versus we're playing someone outside of the division. We're the better team on paper.
yeah. I mean, my answer's probably gonna stay the same. I would have much rather took that second seed at home, like
Yeah,
that game at home. I'd take that game at home
I'd much
any
rather
day.
play the Chiefs than the Bills right now.
But yeah, I was about to say I would rather play the Chiefs than the Bills. I just would much rather have taken that home game. Like that home game with you guys, I would have taken that. Because there's no way you guys are losing to the Bills 2 weeks in a row at home, and this time with a healthier offense.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I asked the question to get an unbiased opinion on. I know what I'm picking right now, but it's also because that's the scenario I'm in. So maybe I'm just looking at it like this is what the cards dealt me. I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun playoffs. I mean, I do feel pretty good watching this game because I was just like, oh, this is me versus Paul because we both picked the other in to win the division. So I was like, all right, this is number one versus number one. Who gets it?
Last
And
man
I got
standing.
nothing but respect. I got nothing but respect for the Dolphins team. But I like the fact that the Bills they were able to stay in this game and win this game because I believe that first half did not prove them. But Josh Allen's just back to running the ball 15 carries, 67 yards, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Dawson Knox, he always gets him a random touchdown. So he got that one touchdown. That was good. What did James Cooks do? Oh, not a damn thing.
Yeah,
Yikes.
no, we
But
stopped that. It was really Hurts. Not Hurts. Allen. He had like 300 passing yards and then like 60 rushing yards on top of it. Like it was like
right.
400 total offensive yards.
I forgot they put Leonard Fournette in, but if Leonard, we might get a
Bro, his
playoff.
old ass was fucking popping there.
Yeah, his playoff. We might get a playoff Lenny appearance, so we can see what happens. But Week 18 was lit, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole fucking season. I
Yeah,
enjoyed everybody that tuned in this season. This was fucking great. I was definitely happy to sleep most of the season. As you can see, I'm awake now. I figured out my shit for the playoff, just in time for the playoffs. So it's nice, man.
good ass season. Well, I wish you was with me for the wild card, Kev. Y'all had a great season. The Dolphins, I'm not too confident, but I'm gonna make a few calls, get the team right, and hopefully next week. What is it? Wild card week. Is it next week or is it? Do we have a week off?
No, it's next week.
It's next week. Okay, and there is Saturday games and Sunday games, so we'll be back for the wild card weekend. Everybody get their picks ready. We'll be there. And as always, go down, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching to the end. Let us hear down in the comment section what y'all thought on the year, what y'all thought on these coach firings, and what y'all thought about how the last week just went, whether your team made it, whether your team played spoiler. We'd love to hear about it. I'm Paul Picking Winham, joined with Kevin, Waterboy Savoy. If y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.